Hello and welcome to our channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot. I'm Sarah and I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader today. So for today's energies, I wanted to focus on what the Divine Masculine would like to say to the Divine Feminine, because there's a lot of this life review energy coming up, in particular teenage years, early 20s, and how this has translated into your patterns in relationships. Now this is coming up for both masculine and feminine, and as well as regret. There's a regret energy coming up. Denial, almost like a denial of the true self, denial of the true desires, getting into relationships that weren't really serving your highest good, but were there for karmic purposes to clear karma. So there's just a ton of energy. And this is in particular for those of you who are in some sort of separation. You're definitely going to be feeling this energy of life review. And a lot of this is the collectives, the collective at large. A lot of this is also your divine counterparts. So just a few quick announcements, and we're going to dive right into the reading, the cards. As you can tell, I'm jumping over my words. And I'm super excited because there's a lot that the Divine Masculine wants to say. We have extended our early bird. So we were going to launch today. We're going to launch the early bird special for our April transformational group coaching program to March 7th. Just making sure that date is correct. Yes, so we're going to launch on March 7th, and we will keep that early bird open for about a week, and then we'll have regular registration. So we're giving you guys a little bit more time, put some money away, make those decisions, and we're super excited. We're still launching in mid-April, but I'm going through a move, so I just wanted to get through that move first and then be able to kind of set down roots and sit down and start that registration. Okay, so look out for that on our website. The announcement is there already, so the countdown should be on. And then also look out for the announcements from me. And a lot of you are wanting private sessions. Now we have a group of, if you want to dive right into healing sessions, go right to our website and you can click there under the offerings. If you're just looking for more of a twin flame check, we offer those on a phone call. If you're looking for a discovery call to learn more about what we do, and for a mini healing, then you can also book that. It's a 20-minute call, and then we have a 40-minute introductory call that's a flame call. If you're pretty sure you're in a twin flame connection and you have some questions and you want to get some clarity. So we are offering those in addition to our 3-session packages. And we're super excited to have you guys here. And I want to thank you for your patience this month over here and on Patreon. You know, we have these very challenging energies coming up. And there's a lot of weepy energies as well. There's weepy energies. So a lot of crying, a lot of tears, and a lot of energy of moving on and moving forward and, leaving things behind. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the reading here, and we are going to start actually with the Angels and Ancestors deck. We'll ask for the blessings of the highest high and for the highest self to come through in this reading. Also asking to clear out any negative energies that may be in the collective or that may be within me as well or within any of our counterparts. Please allow only the highest high of what needs to be heard at this time. It's ready to be heard to come through. So right off the bat, we had a card flip out there, which is pretty unusual for this deck because it's not a slippery deck. It's kind of sticky. So the Elder card, yes, moving beyond ancestral patterns. Isn't it incredible how the cards will reflect what's going on and oftentimes what I've just said? So yes, the Elder energy here, moving beyond those ancestral patterns. So, this is what we're doing with this life review energy. And this feels very ancient to me. This feels like the energy of going back eons and eons to work through any blocks that we might have had, that our ancestors had. And when you do ancestral work, you're clearing the energy 7 generations past and 7 generations future. So big work, guys. Really honor yourselves and respect yourselves and give yourself a pat on the back as you move through this process of clearing karma. So you're moving beyond any limitations, that any stories or belief systems that have been installed in you by your ancestors, by your parents, by your grandparents, and understanding that your spirit is here to do this work, to do this cleansing work, this removing work, this and this is why there's a lot of teary energy, because we're blasting through these blocks that our ancestors had. But it means that they have to, it's like leaving parts of self and parts of, the collective self behind, so that we can strip away what was never true, what was never real, to get through to the truth of what really is real. So this is like, moving beyond genetics, moving beyond those behavioral patterns, belief systems, and the stories. And what story are we going to tell ourselves? What stories do we want to tell our kids and our grandkids and, nieces and nephews and future generations and great-grandchildren? So we want to really look at, we're doing this major introspective work, a major turning inward, guys, and the masculine collective is moving through this. The physical counterpart, the masculine collective, moving through this in a massive way right now. So there's definitely healing happening right now. There's healing for the collective, there's healing, but it's massive change, okay? And it feels a little bit like you're being uprooted. It feels a little uncomfortable, or a hell of a lot uncomfortable. And I want you guys to just sit in honor with song, with meditation, with prayer, with some sort of act of devotion, and a great process to work through right now is the Ho'oponopono Hawaiian forgiveness ritual prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And this is a powerful mantra, it's a powerful prayer, it's a devotional prayer, it's a prayer of cleansing and forgiveness, and it's amazing for moving through this ancestral work. So this is a reclamation, like a reclamation of power. It's like I'm taking my power back, and you can see this in this gentleman. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been through lifetimes upon lifetimes. Look at, he has the wrinkles to show that. He's got, the aging and the wear and the tear to show that. And that's another thing. If you're feeling like you're aging, fast on this journey, like those silver hairs are coming in, or you're just seeing the lines on your face or the wrinkles, or you're just feeling old because of all the physical symptoms of this process, I want to encourage you guys, to really have a deep compassion for self, and understanding that you're an ancient soul here to do lifetimes, like lifetime upon lifetimes of work and cleansing and clearing for your generational line, because you signed up to do this, because that's how powerful, that's how courageous you are. You knew exactly what you were walking into, and you still signed up for it. Give yourself that permission to be awed by yourself. So if you've ever had expectations placed on you, right, by family members, or even just from somewhere you don't even recall where it's from. It could be from a teacher, it could have been from an ancestor you never met, but you had this sort of like, I have to be perfect, or I have to be successful, or I have to, be pretty, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. This is where we want to really look at that energy, and we want to see how this has created it, like this energy of success or failure, better or worse, good, bad, evil, like that sort of thing, and how it's affected your physical health and your mental health, how it's dimmed your light in any way, and how it's, assisted you in living a life that was conventional, living a life that wasn't authentic, and that wasn't truly allowing you to step into your power, because you were living someone else's life and playing out their story. So this is major. I mean, I could really do the whole reading just talking about this card. I could go on and on, because this is really the theme that's coming up now. And I'm still awed by the fact that this is the card that came up right after I finished talking about what was actually happening in the collective. Okay, so let's get a look at the feminine's energy. What is the feminine currently moving through? Yep. Shaman, trust in higher forces, and shield maiden, make plans and focus. Yeah, right on target, right on point. Okay, so what's happening is The shield maiden is the energy of, the plans that I've been talking about, the moves, right? The feminines are the movers and shakers right now, in the collective. The feminines are making physical moves of some sort, whether it's moving furniture, moving house, moving job, moving location, moving city, moving state, moving country, changing religion, like in some way, changing your name, like in some way you are starting a new dynamic cycle in your life, and it's requiring you to have a ton of focus on your end goal, like what it is that you desire. She's got a very don't fuck with me kind of energy, but also there's a softness and a feminine quality to her as well. And she has this necklace that is representative of a half moon. To me, that's the cycle has not yet been completed. There is something that is begun but is not yet completed, because you're in the process of following through with these plans, and you're seriously focused, and you're impenetrable. So you're not allowing even thoughts of your counterpart to come through and throw you off balance or off course, or anyone else's perspectives or ideas or beliefs, right? To throw you off course and make you think that maybe, to kind of go into that regret energy and make you think I should have done something differently. I should have made this move sooner. You're really, really shifting. And again, guys, a lot of what you're feeling is not even your energy. It's the energy of your ancestors. It's the energy of your parents. It's this reclaimed or unclaimed energy that's now being reclaimed so that things can shift. Now we have the shaman here to accommodate the shield maiden for the feminine energy. Why? Because this is telling you to trust in higher forces, right? So you have to trust in the higher force, and you've got this very instinctual, intuitive, and very wise owl energy assisting you. So you can call on owl energy to assist you with a smooth move, making, the smooth process of affecting these changes in your life. But yeah, the shaman energy, you're trusting that there's a higher force and a higher power that's guiding your decisions, that's guiding your actions, and that's bringing this wonderful, beautiful, much needed change into your life. It's going to feel like a freshness, guys, a fresh slate of energy, wiping the slate clean, and all of a sudden there's bright color where there maybe was gray, or the door is open where before it was closed, okay, and the window is open, so you're breathing that fresh air, and you're allowed to experience, you're allowing yourself to experience freedom. I think often, a lot of feminines were in this energy of kind of waiting for the masculine, hoping the masculine was going to rescue them. Even if, you don't want to admit that to yourself, I think that's really what was going on for a lot of feminines. I'm going to wait on, my masculine to make this move. And now the feminine saying, I'm going to make this move regardless of whether, the counterpart is in the picture or not, because this is my life and time is ticking. And you're really both, in the collective energy, you're becoming very aware of time, becoming very aware of, again, the effects of time, I was talking about on the physical body, but as well as just, what it means, the connections you've made over your life. And you're probably thinking about different connections you've had throughout your lifetime, in particular young adulthood, and how that shaped you into who you are now. But also being able to look back on those and reflect on those relationships with a lot more compassion, with a lot of forgiveness to both, towards self and towards the other person. And it's really beautiful that this is coming through to really wash away any just residual, lingering energies of karma, any energies of sadness surrounding, old friendships or relationships that didn't work out, or, strife that you've had with family members, or any number of things where, you've had fallouts with people or breakups, and you have had to kind of walk through life and maybe holding on to some of that energy, and now you're being able to clear out that energy and forgive all parties. So it's really quite beautiful. So the Divine Masculine, I've never actually pulled this card. I'm so fascinated because I feel like I've pulled every other card in this deck, but I've never pulled the Moon card. Take note of intuitive messages. Masculine, so very, very wise, highly intuitive, definitely following their intuition in a way in which they've never followed it before. And they are looking at this journey differently. They are definitely in, this state of introspection, this state of kind of awe. They are inspired by the feminine in the moves that she's making. They're inspired by your wisdom. they are definitely reflecting on words exchanged in the past. And if you've ever written them a letter, an email, a text message, those things are being revisited at this time. And they're realizing that in their heart that they cannot forget the divine feminine. So what this is doing is it's allowing them to go to a space where they're able to truly access the truth of the truth and the depth of their emotions for you. And they're making decisions now, taking action based on their intuition versus their logic. This is really quite a big step for the masculines. So they definitely feel like they have wronged you in the past, okay? They feel like they brought you a lot of pain and misery and heartache, and they're very saddened by their actions. They're very saddened at the person that they were. They're saddened that they weren't able to step up when it was called for. And they're saddened that this has led to a separation. And they're feeling the separation more than ever. It feels deeper this time. It's cutting them deeper, and it's slicing them open, right? There's nothing to hide under anymore. There's nothing to hide behind. They no longer have the door to hide behind, or the relationship to hide behind, or the money, or the job, or the status, because none of those things, either they're falling away in their lives with the tower moments they're experiencing, or they just don't hold the clout that they used to, and they don't seem as important as they used to. So the masculine is definitely in this very, very reflective, introspective, softened, compassionate, kinder kind of headspace and heart space. And there is a merging of the head and the heart for the masculine. There is a sense of a unity of the head and the heart, which has never been the case before with the masculines. At least it hasn't been sustainable, right? They could access the heart for a brief period, and then they would go right back into the logical mind, and the ego would run the show and tell them this connection isn't real, it's not possible, it's not sustainable, etc. So yeah, they're definitely shifting, and this is bringing them into a higher state of awareness, and it's bringing them closer to you. It's bringing them closer to their true selves. It's also bringing them a lot of messages. They're receiving messages from their ancestors, from beyond. They're receiving messages in particular from feminine energy, right? What they're doing, guys, is they are mending ties with the feminine energy in their life, mother, grandmother, exes, friends, etc. They're mending those energy sisters, and it's allowing them to experience the connection in a different way. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to take these because that's interesting the way they fell out. So this is the integration deck. And what's really fascinating here is we have the value card. So this is the root chakra, and then we have the sixth chakra, which is that third eye, place from which we can see the real truth. So they're thinking about the past, right? They're definitely thinking about the past and the cycles that you've gone through together, and that they don't want to repeat a cycle. They definitely don't want to repeat it. Right? They have regret for the way that they acted, the choices that they made, the positions that they put you in, and the lack of respect that they showed this connection, and that they showed themselves, and that they showed you. And so what they want to do is they're placing more value on their own lives and themselves and their decisions, and they're starting to respect themselves more. This is like planting the seeds so that the plants can actually take root and grow and prosper and become something more than a seed. So the seed has been planted, right? The seed of self-respect, the seed of self-awareness, the seed of, like, I am worthy, I matter, I am valued, and I value myself, and also I value this connection. So they want to water the connection. They're trying to water the seeds of the connection because they want it to grow. They want it to change form because they're very unhappy with the silence and the lack of that physical connection. So I know you guys have been feeling this, some of you in the collective, many of you have been feeling the masculines coming forward, and you've been feeling, the masculine really stepping into your space in the 3D. Even if you haven't talked to them in months or years, they are very much present right now. And that's because they're reflecting so much on the past. This is where, again, that moving beyond ancestral patterns, that elder card comes in, that energy comes into play. And they're really wanting to, they're like, I place so much value on the past that I share with you, Divine Feminine. And I want you to know that. And I'm being very introspective about this. Feminine, you've got the angel of alchemy, the angel of magic, the angel of transmutation and transformation on your side. As you go through these changes and make these, shifts and these moves, you've got the angel of, absolute, magic, being able to turn a rock into a diamond, being able to turn, a situation that looks impossible, like being able to shift that and change it into a situation that's totally possible, totally doable, and also it's going to open up doors. So yeah, the feminine, you're shifting rapidly. Like, if they're showing me the energy of the feminine, and the way that it's looked recently is like a ball of energy, a ball of, it's not even fire, it's a ball just of energy moving around, different colors blending in at different times, all of the chakras, moving and working together, this forceful energy. You're moving forward and you can't be stopped. And this is what's really spurring the divine masculine to wake up faster than he was before, and to really want to do the work. Like, the divine masculine doesn't want to sit in silence apart from the feminine. The divine masculine's like, I want to be a part of this journey with my divine feminine. I don't want to be sitting here on the sidelines and just watching the show. I'm supposed to be a part of that show. In fact, I'm supposed to be one of the leading cast members. And all of a sudden, they find themselves in the audience and they're watching you, and they're realizing, I need to take heed of my intuition. I need to stop living life from my mind, from my ego. So, feminines, you've been experiencing a lot of ego humbling as well. Getting to a place of realizing that the ego does not, if the ego runs the show, we're never happy. The ego tries to protect us, but it keeps us from living. And the masculine's been kept from living for a long time. Yeah, they've lived, they've experienced things. A lot of them have had a lot of success and a lot of power and a lot of money. So they've traveled, they've had relationships, they maybe have had kids, they've been married, they've, had titles and accolades and awards and all of these things. So they've achieved success in the material world, but what they're realizing is that that success doesn't equate to actual joy. That success is, the joy, the happiness created from that is short-lived, because it's based on external things that can be taken away at any moment, and for many of them have been taken away. And as the masculines fight these custody battles, as the masculines, fight to keep their jobs, as the masculines feel like they're losing grip on their old life, they're realizing that an act of surrender is really like, it's an act of God, and it's allowing God to control versus trying to take the reins and take control of the situation, because they've tried to control the situation with you, Divine Feminine, and that's led to separation, it's led to pain, it's led to the feminine, putting up very firm boundaries, because she said, you can't control this connection, you can't control the way you feel, you can't talk yourself out of this, Divine Masculine. But he certainly has tried. And finally, the feminine said, okay, you want to talk yourself out of this? Go for it. But I'm not going to be a part of that. I know that this is a divine connection, and I honor this. And the masculine is having just massive wake-up calls. Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with, again, the fact that the walls are crumbling down around them, and the things are shifting, the things that used to matter a lot suddenly don't matter anymore, because there's just no room for them anymore in the masculine's life. And guys, they're really catching up. They're really not saying they were behind, but they're definitely catching up to the beliefs, to the mindset that the feminine is in. They're realizing what really matters, why they're really here, how short time really is on this physical plane. And, you know, time has felt like it's slowed down and sped up all at the same time recently. The masculines are feeling those timeline shifts as well, the timeline glitches, even though they might not be able to express it or understand it, although I think many of them are super spiritually advanced, and they just haven't shared that yet with you, Divine Feminine. Very powerful beings they are. Okay, so let's get a card here for... Okay, interesting. I asked for a card for the energy of the connection, and I actually got 3 here. Wow. Broken Arrow, embrace the energy of peace. This is another one I don't recall ever seeing. So we're getting some nuanced energy, some new energy coming in here. This is for the connection. Embrace the energy of peace inside of the connection. Okay, this is for the divine counterparts. Advice for the divine counterparts. Winter, take care of your needs. We are in the season of winter, very quickly approaching spring. I know that's welcomed by everyone in the cold countries, the cold states, the cold cities, all those areas. You're like, yes, I can feel spring is right around the corner. Taking care of your needs. So yeah, it's like embracing peace. That's that Ho'oponopono forgiveness energy that I've been talking about. Taking care of your needs, putting yourself first and foremost and front and center. That's also breaking those generational patterns of putting others before you, putting their opinions before your own, taking their opinions as truth. And then night, be brave and be honest. Yeah, this is a really beautiful time to be, you know, honest with that life review energy that I was talking about. Being honest with yourself, being honest with others, being honest with your counterpart, both, you know, internally in the 5D and in the external 3D, and be brave, like speak your truth. You know, this is, the knight is, you know, he's being knighted. It's a gentleman who's being knighted. He's on his way to becoming king. He's on his way to becoming that emperor. And the emperor is honest. The emperor is fair. The emperor is, you know, he believes in justice. So this is about that divine justice that is raining down on the world right now. So I hope this has been helpful, guys. And if it has, if you wouldn't mind, please dropping a like. Sharing the video in groups or forums is extremely helpful, and I thank you, and I'm giving a huge shout out to all of you that do. And you can also subscribe to the channel. That's great too. You can check out my Patreon. I'm going to be posting a video over there sometime this week, and I want to talk about all of this energy. You know, I want to talk about this life review energy and why this is happening as we lead up to those magic months of April to August. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with the magic months, go back and watch a few videos or stay tuned, because I'll be talking about it more and more as we approach April. I send you guys a lot of love. And if you're wondering how to work with us, if you want that twin flame check, or you want that discovery call or that flame call, look back. Actually, I'll repost it on the community tab, but I have older posts there where you can look up its information on where to email us and what the payment is and all of that good stuff. Yeah, send you guys a lot of love and a lot of energy, and I hope to work with you, and take really good care. Have a wonderful, wonderful, peaceful day.